Breaking news, the United States' closest ally has just declared economic war and is holding a $1.13 trillion nuclear option. Japan's finance minister just went on live national TV and announced that their $1.13 trillion in U.S. Treasury bonds is now a weapon. This is real leverage that could destroy the U.S. bond market and collapse the economy. If Japan sells even a fraction of that debt, interest rates will skyrocket. Home loans, car payments, and even credit cards will immediately get more expensive. Inflation will skyrocket, the economy will crash, and the dollar will get weaker. And if China joins in, it's game over. Together, China and Japan hold over $2 trillion of U.S. debt. A coordinated dump could collapse confidence in the U.S. bond market, which is the backbone of global finance. This would force the U.S. government to pay way more to borrow money just to stay afloat. Medicare, Social Security, and federal salaries will all be at risk. Your tax dollars will just go to damage control. This was a surgical, calculated warning. Trump's trade war has officially triggered an economic counterattack. The message is clear. Keep pushing Japan, and they'll light the fuse. And if China follows, America will burn from the inside out.
What the United States is saying is completely unreasonable. Their logic is all over the place, and there's no consistency at all. However, when Japan negotiates with what they are saying, to be frank, it's akin to being extorted by a delinquent. If Japan gives in, thinking it's a negotiation or a deal, and compromises on its position, it sets a bad precedent as a customary practice. If you give money to someone extorting you, they'll just come back to extort you again. In the first place, even their equations are completely nonsensical. I wasn't good at math either, but if that equation appeared in a math test, it would definitely score 0. That's why, even though Minister Akazawa is serious and capable, there's a concern about whether it's okay for a serious person to handle this. Since they're not a straightforward opponent, they won't listen to straightforward reasoning. Even though all options were mentioned, you must never show compassion to an opponent who isn't straightforward. If you ease up on them, it will set a bad example. In any case, I hope we absolutely do not give in to America's extortion. This may sound harsh, but it really is extortion. If we comply with this, it will truly set a bad example. Truly. Minister Iwata, I know you might not have much time, but I highly recommend watching the documentary about Roy Cohn, the lawyer who mentored him, and the documentary about Mr. Trump. By watching those, I hope you can gain some insight into what kind of person Mr. Trump is. When you watch it, you really get a sense of, oh, this is the kind of person he is. During the tariff review, he was so relaxed that he went to his own golf course. It wasn't a decision made after much deliberation. He's really mocking the world. Well, you know, Minister Akazawa is a serious person, and Minister Iwaya is also a serious person. So if you approach that person seriously, you'll definitely just get taken advantage of. I believe that Minister Iwaya was quite spirited in his younger days, and I hope he remembers that. Even now, Minister Iwaya is full of energy, and I urge him to demonstrate that spirited nature in negotiations with the United States and to promise not to yield to any extortion.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem, Achakadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostle of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching his word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat, the Dabadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. So, America's closest ally, Japan, is fed up with America's bullshit. Okay? And like he says, you know, dealing with Trump, man, and his administration, It's akin to like being extorted by a delinquent. And when you look up the word extortion or extort, it says right here, to obtain by force or compulsion, wrest away by oppressive means. So, to obtain by force. You can go up to here, extortion, the act of extorting, the act of wresting away, wresting anything from a person by force, duress, menace, authority, or any undue exercise of power, oppressive or illegal exaction. And what America is doing to Japan is extorting money, right? And you know, that's another thing too, is bribery that we're going to get into. Okay? In fact, let's look up the word bribery, just for edification's sake. I'm sure you already know, but we're going to get it anyway. Bribery. Once it comes up here. Hold on a moment, let's give it a second here. But while it's loading, I'm gonna get the book of Proverbs. Oh, there it is. Bribery, theft, robbery, swindling, pilfering. Act of magistrates taking money for corrupted services. Okay? So there you go, man. Sounds like Esau Edom. This is going to be the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 27. And it says, he that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. So he that is greedy troubleth his own house. So with the way Trump is handling things with all these other countries, you know, with tariffs, tariffs, that's just one thing, but there's so many other things, tax cuts, and amongst other things that I could go, we could go into, but that's a lesson for another time. But with all the things that Trump is doing, we know that he's just a puppet for the elites. He's just doing their bidding. But yeah, you see, the orange duckling is making it easier for the rich, but harder for the working class and the poor. Well, there really is no working class anymore, because the working class, which was the middle class, now the poor. They're now the poor. So again, Proverbs 15 and 27. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. So Esau Edom is causing detrimental damage to his own country, to fellow Americans, right? The thing with the fact that China doesn't want to do business with us anymore. So, and we've seen videos of the ports off the ports off of the California and all that. They're empty. And I've been seeing from other videos from other preppers saying that expect empty shelves within 5 to 7 weeks. So sometime in June, heading into July, people are going to they're going to really feel the reality. They're going to feel the taste of reality. It's going to burn. It's going to hurt. Because Trump and his tariffs, they keep. It's just he's just making life harder for the average American, or Americans in general, really. All right, now this is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 26. Psalms 26 and 9. It says, "Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men." Okay, so we don't want to have nothing to do with these these thieves, these crooks, these cutthroats. We don't want to have nothing to do with them and their ways. Verse 10, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. And whose hand is full of mischief and bribery? Esau, Edom. Okay, that's the man. He's a liar, he's a thief, he's a murderer, he's just someone you cannot trust. You cannot do honest business with him. Alright? And this right here, this man is the, this Ammonite, so-called Japanese, he just said that, what America is doing right now is extortion. And, they're getting tired of it. So, this right here is just one step closer to all these other countries just saying, fuck America, right? This is it. More and more people are going to just start turning away from America to start doing business elsewhere. And when that happens, the dollar is finished, and the economy of this enterprise is finished. Okay? I'll go into another video later of all the things that Trump is doing, but like just alone, these tariffs were just these tariffs were bad enough, and he's taking away benefits for veterans. And Trump is just making people's lives a living hell. In fact, before I close out, I'm going to get this one script in Isaiah. Isaiah chapter let's see, bear with me for a second. I think it's there we go. Isaiah chapter 19 verse 4. And the Egyptians, which are the modern day Edomites here in America, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Lord of hosts. So Trump is just proving more and more and more that he's that cruel Lord that's making people's lives a hell here. He's not going to stop. And of course with the deportations, the tariffs, the tax cuts for the rich, and taking away the benefits for veterans and Medicare and all that, Medicaid. Trump is just literally making life here in America a hell. Alright? I'm going to close out with this. This is going to be Job 15. Job 15 and 34. It says, for the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. Okay? So the congregation of hypocrites, who are hypocrites? The wicked. And all they do is they say they'll do honest business with you, but in the back, as the scripture saying in Psalms 55 and 21, his words are smoother than butter and softer than oil, but war was in his heart. That has always been Esau Edom's MO, his modus operandi. There's no honest business with this devil. Verse 35, they conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. So, back to Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, no one's falling for your bullshit anymore, Esau. No one wants to do any. No one. These heathen nations, they're realizing now that you are that devil that cannot be trusted. All right, and that's all I had. So yeah, man, things are not looking too good, and how about Shemel Shai willing, let this be the year that we get up out of here, but we just gotta continue on as if, and just be patient and just wait, and keep our eyes open. But this right here is an indicator that we're getting close. We're getting real close. All right. So with that, I hope that this was an edifying lesson unto the body and to the few sincere believers and listeners. In closing, I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakak. Double honors and respect to the elders, to the apostles, to the millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayat and Abadat, the Abatas and David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abad Abal, Shalom, Barakatah.